If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is January the 6th, 2021. Oh, my God, I keep saying it. January the 6th, 2022. And today the topic is generosity. Oh, man, yesterday was like a busy day. I just had like one thing after another happening. Working on this and that. Y'all know how it is. But let me see if I give you all a little bit of a rundown of what all went on yesterday. After I did the juice, working on little stuff. I think I tried to get some rest in between that. Here come my son. He got into some stuff. Anyway. I chit-chatted with my mom a bit, worked on some things. I had an interview with Mr. Dorsey Ross, so be on the lookout for that coming out at some point this year. I don't know. It was pre-recorded, so I'll let you all know when I know. But I did that yesterday, ran an errand, tried to eat something. What did I do right after that? I guess I worked with my acting students, got ready, did my makeup real quick to do the interview with Boomer Smith. So we finally knocked that out. You all be seeing that real soon. And he's actually the first person that's on the dream team to do an interview on GSL. So shout out to that as well. So we did that. And then I worked out because yesterday was Wednesday. So it was a workout day for me. So I worked out, took a shower. Shoot, by the time I did all of that, it was little man's bedtime. And I sit him off the bed and got on in myself and, took some time to unwind. Oh, yeah, also in the midst of that, the other thing that I did, because I picked my nail polish off the other day, so I did a quick mani-pedi so I could be, good for the interview that I did with Boomer. So, yeah, it's my update. I know my boy Ewan, he pays attention to my nails. So I'm sharing it with you, Ewan. Shout out to you as well. I've seen your commentary the past few days. And again, I thank and praise God for you, taking out the time to even acknowledge, the episodes, to listen, and then to even take the time to leave a comment and everything. It's greatly appreciated. I see it. I know I like it, and I usually comment back to you, but I'm just letting you know, again, thank you. Thank you for that and everything as well. So yeah, that was my yesterday, man. That was what yesterday looked like to me in a nutshell. Not too much planned for today. As far as like specific tasks, I don't know. I can't remember anything in particular that I'm supposed to do today. But we'll see. We'll see what the Lord do. But hey, I'm here. I'm here for the juice. I woke up this morning. I woke up at 3:15. So if you guys want to look up the verses that were centered around that, feel free. That's not what the inspiration for today was. But I did look up those verses when I woke up and saw that I was up at 3:15. I looked up the verses centered around that, and I found that to be very interesting. It was talking about in Genesis, it was talking about Genesis and how basically that God's going to, it was like, they say it's like the first prophecy of Jesus. So y'all can look that up yourself. Shout out to the person that's watching me live, all right? So let's get into the juice this morning. So it's about generosity. My prayer meditation with the Soul Space app was about generosity as well. And that word just stood out to me this morning. And so that's what I looked up and that's what I started to study. And here are the verses that stood out to me. Proverbs 11:24 through 25 says, "One gives freely yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. Whoever brings blessings will be rewarded." That might be rewarded. I'm sorry. Anyway, will be rewarded. Let's just say that's what it is. And one who waters will himself be watered. So, yeah, I mean, I know I've chit chatted about generosity before. I ended up actually, I meant to write it down, but I wrote, I was a guest blogger on Miss Leanne's website, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe I shared, some of my personal testimony about generosity and giving and everything like that, because I struggled with it at one point. And I mean, I'm going to share a verse later that kind of really sums up like where I was with when it came to giving and whatnot. And but yeah, I mean, I guess as we go through life, and again, this whole conversation of generosity, this is what is in play. This is, I guess, the rules that God has made. That if you give generously, then you will be given generously, and things like that. And so, something to think about, especially if you feel like you're someone in need. You feel like you're someone that's you know, has I guess a need that needs to be met or anything like that. I mean, if you can find a way to give and do it generously, then I guess I'm a living witness, and I mean, I know others are as well, that it will be given back to you. So one of those things to think about on today. Let's see, Proverbs 19:17. It says, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed." So there you go. I mean, it's, you know, um, a lot of times, again, I guess we just focus on us as humans, right? We focus on, oh, I'm doing this for you or something like that. But this here says that it is you're lending to the Lord when you are generous to the poor. So and the Lord will repay you. It's not that person repays or anything like that. It's the Lord will repay you. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely say in my life, or I've definitely seen this in my life where, people have been generous to me, and then obviously they've been able to, I don't know what they received on their end, but I know times when I've been generous or times when I've tried my best to just be able to give and things like that, I've seen God continue to bless me and continue to, provide for me. And so, again, I believe that it all is connected in a way where it flows, like when it go, like, it's a natural progression. Like even when I sit here and think about GSL, like keeping things to myself, right? Would Okay, yeah, to a certain extent. Okay, for example, me sharing my Bible study situation, I could keep these moments to myself. I could just do this with myself, not share it and everything. But when I think about every person that has been touched just by sharing this moment, sharing the juice has led to so many different things. And I feel that may be touching, so many different people along the way. Yes, the people that I call the dream team, the people that are helping me out, that I've been able to kind of outsource and hire, if you want to say it like that. But and maybe even the people that watch and listen as well. Like, so it's not necessarily just financially and things as well, but it's like, being generous with the gifts that God has given you. Ultimately, it blesses you, it blesses others, and it just keeps this rotation going. Because again, I, you know, I'm just using me as an example that, yeah, I could have been stagnant and kept all these things to myself, studied and just kept it to myself, not shared, not told anybody, just, you know, did my personal Bible study. This is just for me. It's just me and God, and that's okay. Sometimes we need to do things like that. But I'm just saying, I've just seen the growth that has happened since sharing. Again, reaching out to Ewan, somebody all the way in Australia. Don't know him, haven't seen him face to face, anything like that, but he has blessed my life over the past year, definitely, or perhaps since I started. I know since I started recording the video versions of the Juice. So again, I hope he says that these things are encouraging him. He says that he's getting something from me sharing these things. But then, let's think about again the lady that I brought on that's in Kenya. She's my virtual assistant and she's helping me out, and you know, um, I'm able to sew into her. The people in Pakistan that has been helping us, and me and my mom, and helped me initially, and now helping my mom and help my sister and everything. It just has flowed. Everything has just flowed around to so many different people around the world, where it's like, I guess again, just reiterating this idea of being generous with your gifts and your talents and the things that God has given you. Let me keep going, y'all, because I guess I just went in on that for a second. Let me keep going. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Here's that verse I was telling y'all about. I think. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yeah, this the verse that I was telling you all about that I kind of was struggling with in my past. 2 Corinthians 9:7. It says, each one must give as he has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. I was honest with you all about this in my past. Like, I would give grudgingly in the past. I would give, and I would feel some way about giving because it would be like, I feel like I've shared this, but again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna just share briefly that basically what was happening around those times was that I would go to work, and then as I would leave to get ready to go home, or even sometimes as I was getting ready to go into work, um, I would see either people pedaling and everything like that, um, and it would like, and sometimes I would go ahead and give, but I would feel a way about it. Like, I would feel like kind of upset about it because it was like the only reason I'm even here in this area is so I can work, right? I'm trying to work so I can get some funds to help with whatever I got going on. So, for me or whatever the case is, and here someone is, peddling and basically taking the one thing that I like. For example, even if for example, okay, if I just did my shift and someone gave me a tip, that's probably the only cash I have on me. And here that person is asking for it, and it's like, my goodness, I just got this, and I would feel some way about it. And so, I had to pray about that. I had to be like, Lord, I want to be able to sow. I want to be able to give. I want to be able to do this cheerfully. I don't feel right by giving and not feeling cheerful about it. So there would be times where I know definitely a couple of times where I just put something to the side in preparation to give. Um, either like, I know that one time it was some money I had put to the side, and I just put it to the side of my car and was like, if whenever someone asks, I'm going to give them that. And when someone asked, I gave that to them, and I felt good about being able to knowing that, hey, it was intentional. I had this intentional for you, individual. I didn't know who you were, but I just knew that whoever you were, this is what I have prepared to give. And that felt better. That felt better to me than to be on the spot and feeling, what was that word in the midst of this verse here? Feeling under compulsion, right? Feeling forced to give. So that was one thing, and the other time it was a coat, and it was a brand new coat. I purchased it so because I was trying to sell it. I was trying to like promote it to so I could sell it, and we took photos in it, and that was all that we did, and whatnot. And I had it for a long time, and it was cold, and I one day I just felt led to just put it in my car. I just put it in the car, and was like, if someone needs, I will give it to them. And there was a gentleman that needed and whatnot, and I, was able to give that to him and whatnot. And so I mean, again, yeah, sometimes it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about, again, maybe even being intentional about generosity. I think maybe that's where some of the joy can come from, and the cheerfulness can come from being prepared to give, Um, so hopefully me sharing my little testimony here encourages you and inspires you in this area, y'all. But let me go ahead and share a little bit more with you all. Let me see. I want to share with you all Matthew 10 and 42. It says, and whoever gives one of these little ones even a cup of cold water because he is a disciple, truly I say to you, he will by no means lose his reward. So again, like I just said a second ago by sharing my testimony, it's not always about money, right? It's just about, I guess, about feeling the need, right? Feeling a need. In this verse, these disciples needed water. Someone gave it to them, and God is going to give them the reward for doing that. So yeah, I think again, just mentally preparing, right? Mentally getting ready, being intentional about giving and generosity and being cheerful about it. That helps and says something. And then also just being prepared to fill whatever need that needs to be filled. Um, Again, I believe that as we do that, we'll see God moving throughout all of our lives and it flowing back to you, right? It flowing right back to you. Just a couple more verses, y'all. A couple more. Let me see. 1 John 3 and 17. It says, but if anyone has the world's goods and see his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Yeah, that's the good question today. I mean, and again, I mean, that's probably why, sometimes you feel convicted, or at least me, I can only speak for myself. So sometimes I will feel convicted if either if I pass someone or something like that. Like I said, it's that balance, because at the same time, the word does say, if you don't work, you don't eat, right? But at the same time, I mean, you just never know. You just never know, and you just, I guess, remaining humble and everything like that. Because, well, let me go ahead and share this verse with you. Proverbs 21 and 13, it says, whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered. So, I mean, there you go, y'all. We could easily be in these people's shoes. Like, it could easily be you, it could easily be me. And so, I guess with that in mind, again, when you have to give, and if whatever it is, if you're able to fill a need, do so, do it cheerfully, be prepared to do so, and everything like that. And understand that, yeah, okay, as you give, it will be given back to you. And then understand that, again, sometimes we're the ones that are in need, and sometimes we're the ones that give. But I think, I guess, if we keep those things in mind and always, as they say, stay humble in this aspect, and understand that, hey, at the end of the day, God's in control, and he's using each and every one of us to, for his purpose, his will, and his glory. So just something to think about today, y'all. That's the juice. That is the juice this morning. The Bible verse of today is Isaiah 60 and 1. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Just a reminder, because y'all know today is Thursday, so that means that tomorrow is Friday, and we have a episode of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show that will be going live. It is a chat with Miss Marilyn Dabney. So yes, and that is the first episode of the GSL talk show of 2022. So be sure to check that out. Get to know Miss Marilyn and everything that she has going on. And until then, I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you already know that your girl is now an author, and my very first publication is none other than a creation inspired by the juice. That's right, friends, you can go on Amazon.com and find the Juice 30-Day Bible Study Journal. And this, friends, I hope and pray will help you create your own Bible study experience similar to the one that your girl here shares with you every day here on God, Sex, and Love.